I am almost done with this article, guys. We are back with Cosmopolitan's 101 best sex tips of all time. This is the last part of this series. Finally, tips 101 to 110, and I'm going to finish off with a little recap, I guess, of my experience doing this series. Hi guys, my name is Alex, and over the past week or so I have been doing these Cosmopolitan sex tips reviews, basically going over every single one of these 110 sex tips, figuring out if they're good or bad, and telling you guys what you need to know rather than what this article is telling you to do. Because it is my job as an internet sex coach to give you guys the best advice that I possibly can give. And so it is my responsibility to cut through the BS that is Cosmopolitan magazine and feed you guys the good information that you need. So, if that sounds interesting, let us finish this off strong. Number 101, getting busy in a public place is risky, but it could pay off in dividends. So it's basically saying to try public sex, and okay, doing public sex is fine. What this will do is just kind of add variety. It kind of adds a mental aspect of excitement because you can't get caught and you don't want to get caught, so there's that kind of stress involved. It's kind of an adrenaline rush. So yes, it will possibly create a better sexual experience if you like that. If you don't like that and aren't into that, then it won't. So this sex tip applies to people that like public sex, basically. But you should try it if you have never tried it before, because it could be something that you really like. And yes, it will represent a variety in your sex life, and variety will spice it up. Variety is a great way to make your sex life better, more exciting, more arousing, more amazing. So, fine, yeah. Just don't get caught. Number 102, the cherry on top when it comes to BJ's is eye contact. So yeah, that can be quite the turn on. Eye contact in general in sex is usually a turn on. It can help you kind of bond with your partner, and it's a great kind of mental stimulator. It really puts you in that moment, in that experience, and connects you to it. It makes you present in that experience, and just being present, being immersed in that experience will make it better. So yes, do this, and it can be pretty hot to see your partner looking at you while you're doing some crazy stuff, and you can just see the ecstasy in their eyes, right? That's going to be a cool thing to do. So yes, eye contact is important for the kind of couple bonding type thing that will enhance your relationship and enhance the experience, as well as it's kind of a twofold thing where it's going to be more arousing because you're in it and you're present and you're seeing your partner for how they truly are, and it's kind of hot. So yeah, that's a pretty good tip. Number 103, put a pillow or two under your hips to elevate you in a sex position, or I would say just make a sex position easier with pillows. And haven't I done a video on this already? So I have, and I'm going to link it up here. And basically, I mean, yeah, sex pillows, they're fine. Anything that you can do to add variety to spice up your sex life is going to make it better because it spices it up, right? Boring, predictable sex is going to be boring, right? And so if you make it unpredictable by adding variety, by changing a couple things so the physical aspect feels a little different, that's going to be exciting, that's going to be arousing, that's going to make your partner more horny than they were, and then they're going to enjoy the sex even more. Number 104, this is for ladies only, and it basically is saying to scissor. And okay, all of my lesbian viewers out there, or bisexual viewers that are into that kind of stuff, then sure, it's a fine sex position to try. Like almost every other tip in this stupid article, it's just more physical stimulation stuff, just stuff to try, stuff to use as variety. Not really good sex tips to like improve your sex life forever. It's just going to possibly spice up that initial sexual experience and add some variety, and it's going to be individually preference based. You could find that you hate this sex position, or you could find that you love it, and then that'd be fine. Number 105, another vintage Cosmo tip. This one from 2002. 2002 is vintage? Okay, I guess that would make me like extremely vintage. It is basically saying to watch each other masturbate, and yeah, I mean, it's just more couple bonding type things. You know, anything that you can do to bond yourselves to each other as a couple, in a relationship, that is going to improve the sex, because you will be able to be more comfortable and immersed in that experience when you have sex with them. Because sex puts you in a vulnerable position. Because sex brings in a lot of insecurity. It brings in a lot of performance anxiety. So if you're more comfortable with that person, then you will alleviate some of those insecurities, some of those performance anxieties, and that will allow you to experience the pleasure that is the sexual experience at a higher degree. Number 106, the clitoris is bigger than you think. It's not just that little thing, it actually extends down into the labia. So work with it, guys. Come on. And I would say, yeah. If you want to do some physical stuff, then fine. I mean, all of this physical stuff, like I said, is, for one, it's individual preference based. Some people will like it, some people won't. For two, all it will do is add variety. It's not going to improve your sex life like forever with that person. It's just going to be a one-off experience that's possibly better than what your routine sex was. And it's just, I mean, it's just something to try. It's not like an amazing sex tip. I don't know why all of these different things to just like try different sex tips are in their best of 50 plus years. I mean, they couldn't find 110 better sex tips. I feel like I could. Maybe I should have written the article. But seriously, I mean, they could have had one sex tip in the beginning of this article saying, try new things, be open-minded, and see if you like things. And then they could have had another tip that said, variety is extremely important. Don't get complacent in sex. Don't do the same monotonous thrusting that you've always been doing your entire relationship. That could have been two tips that are amazing, perfect, awesome tips, and they could have avoided, I mean, probably 80 of these tips are just trying different weird things. I mean, yeah, try them, whatever. Number 107, another one of these things. After a shower, have him bend you over the sink or whatever and watch yourself in the mirror while he has his way with you. And okay, another variety thing, another just thing to add to your sexual repertoire, just to try it one time and see if you like it. So that's all that needs to be said about that at this point. Number 108, ask him first, but if he says yes, then put a vibrator on his underside and on his, you know, between his balls and his anus. Between his balls and his butthole. I love that they have to put in there, ask him first. I mean, you should be discussing everything in sex. And again, that would have been a better sex tip than any of these. Just to communicate with your partner, talk about sex. So many people go through their relationship, go through their sex without ever discussing it. It's just this thing that we do in the bedroom, and then it's like, let's not talk about that because that was dirty. That was nasty. We did some crazy things in that bedroom. We're not allowed to talk about it. When just talking about it will improve your sex life more than every single one of these 110 sex tips will. In terms of using the small vibrator on this area, yeah, it's just another physical stimulation thing. Yeah, try it and you might like it. I mean, who cares, right? Tip number 109, and that is to rotate from reverse cowgirl to regular cowgirl, or vice versa, and do it while he's still inside you. And again, I mean, how many of these are you going to put in your 110 sex tips that are just things to try? I mean, this is going to be, what, 10 seconds at the maximum of your sexual experience? And that is the sex tip that they want to reserve for the 110 best in the past 50 plus years? Come on, Cosmopolitan. Come on, you can do better than this. Number 110, the final sex tip of this entire series, of this entire article. Bored of the same old sex? Go back to a boring same old sex and say, I need you right now. That is how they're finishing this. And sexting is important because you can sex throughout the day, build arousal, which will make the actual sexual experience when you get to it explosive and amazing. That's a great thing to do, and you should definitely do that. So, finishing off pretty well, but you know, we have had other tips that have addressed this exact same thing, so a little bit weird. So, what do I want to say about this article? The goal of this article was to improve your sex lives by giving you the best 110 sex tips over the past 50 plus years that Cosmo has ever put out. And probably 90 of these sex tips are just quick, like physical stimulation things that are going to be individually preference based. They're going to just be something to add variety to your sex life. If your sex life is stale, then yeah, you can try these things. But are they really going to like actually improve the sex that you are providing? Not really. They're going to give you little kind of tricks to do in the bedroom that aren't kind of getting at the root of sexual pleasure, which lies in the mental side of it. So anything that you can do to enhance the mental side of sex, the horniness, the arousal, the passion, the immersion in that experience, that is what truly determines sexual pleasure and what makes sex better than just a bunch of different physical techniques that we string together in a sexual experience and hope it feels good on their private parts. It's truly the brain, the perception, and what's going on upstairs that is determining sexual quality and sexual pleasure. So I hope you guys enjoyed my analysis of this article. It wasn't that bad. It gave kind of the cliche advice that I was expecting. Most internet sex advice, I guess not even internet because this is print, most sex advice that exists these days are just going to be things that have to do with try this different physical technique, and those things, they will work in the short term, they will work in that first sexual experience because they represent variety, and variety is mentally stimulating. So it's kind of indirectly mentally stimulating. So that is truly why they work. It's because of the mental stimulation, like I have said in this video. So that is truly where sexual pleasure lies. If you need variety and you're looking for ways to do that, then this article can help you kind of explore different types of sex. But other than that, it's not going to do much else besides just add variety. I would say the most important things to take away from this, the top 3 I would say, are to stop watching porn, because porn will ruin your sex life and your real life in ways that you couldn't possibly imagine. Number 2, communicate openly, express yourself openly and freely in sex. Number 3, always dirty talk, always express yourself during the sexual experience. Be vocal, be loud, say it how it is, and be present in that experience. Those would be my top 3. I could go into a lot more, but you know, you're going to have to watch my other videos because I've already gone over all this stuff on my channel already. So if that is something that you're into and you want more good sex tips from a sex coach like me, definitely consider subscribing. I do daily videos, so you'll get a ton of content thrown at you. Just non-stop sexual content thrown at you. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it, especially if you've seen all 6 of these parts of this series. I truly appreciate it, and yeah, just thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of the views I get, all of the comments I get. It's amazing, so thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I truly hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.